What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. E-HeroesForged coming at y'all with a new deck list this week. So this is the deck list that I brought to my locals for 2 straight weeks, and I definitely can't say that the deck under or overperformed. I think the deck performed exactly as I thought it would. It is built to grind, it's built to really get through some boards, and it's built to put up some pretty decent boards. So that being said, the records do not really show what the deck did as far as performance. Each week we did go 2-2, but I will say this past week we were 2-1 going into the 4th round. I had to drop due to some family things going on, so we had to take that loss there. I'm confident I could have got that game to go 3-1 with the deck. The deck absolutely performed well. I was never in a situation where I felt like I needed more as far as resources go. The only time I felt like the deck quote unquote underperformed was when it was in the simplified game state, where I've exhausted all of my resources and we're just drawing card for card, and then these other decks are just out resourcing us. So I do think in that aspect of the game this deck does fall short, but as far as competing against the meta decks, it did absolutely what I thought it would do. It competed. We went to game 3s. Every game was back and forth. So with that being said, let's jump into the profile and let me know what you guys think. So starting with the monsters, we have 3 Stratos, Heart and Soul. It searches everything you need. I think this card being at 3 is a mandatory going forward, because you just need to see these cards that can get your engine going. We have 1 Neos and 1 Shadow Mist, and that is it for the Elemental Heroes. For the next engine, we have the Vision Hero package. We're going to do 3 Ferris, 2 Vion, and 2 Increase. So I'm back on 3 Ferris, which I was in my other profile, but I think from going forward, even with all the new stuff coming, I do think Ferris is an absolute game changer as far as getting into Vion, because Vion does get into our poly. So with that being said, I also think 2 Increase is just going to have to be necessary, because if we draw this in our opening hand, if we're running 1, then this whole engine is shut down. So if I was running just 1 with this is going to kill 5 cards in my deck, especially if I don't open this. So I do feel that Increase at 2 is a necessary evil. I mean, we play enough bricks as it is, and every hero player knows even if you play 1 in a 60 card deck, you're going to draw Increase. So if you're going to draw it, you might as well have another way to get to it. So I also think in the grind game, having 2 Increase to get back into another Vion to go get poly. The dudes needed to get more bodies on board to go get poly back from the grave as far as Wonder Driver and things like that. I do think that's a good necessary evil as well. For the Destiny Hero package, we do 3 Malicious, pretty standard, Denier, and Plasma. I do think Plasma, because we're playing to win the dice roll, and that's kind of how you have to think, because in pretty much every format the past like maybe 2 years, it's been go first or lose. And I think that Plasma going first, just shutting off your opponent's board, if you set him up with Dark Lord where they can't get to the graveyard, I do think this is an excellent card. Now going second, obviously you side this out, and then you have Denier. Denier gives you that 4th summon with Malicious. I mean, they're all bricks. I mean, what can you say? I mean, if you draw an opening hand with all this, like, this can absolutely happen. But this is a 60 card deck, forgot to mention that. So your chances of seeing that are kind of slim. For the Evil Hero package, something a little different for me as well. I am on 3 Adusted Gold. I am on 2 Dead in Prison and 1 Necrom. So I think this package is necessary as far as running 60 cards, obviously, but heroes need to see more of their engine. We have to be able to get into everything we need, and Adusted Gold gets you into your power spells, and you need to get rid of these dead cards. And then obviously Dead in Prison, if you open it, this is not a brick. If you summon this to get Necrom to the grave, or if you want to quote unquote get more starters, you can do whatever you need to do, but you get your Shadow Mist to the graveyard and you can search whatever you need to. But I think this is the right package. I have been seeing a lot of decks running 1-1-1, and I don't think that's the way to go. I think you're cutting yourself off short, and I think you just need to have more hero engine. Now the controversial part of the deck is we have the masked hero stuff. This is what we're playing. We are on 3 Furnace and we're on 2 Crow. I decided to bump Crow to 2 because he can essentially be a starter himself. You summon him out, go get Furnace. Even if you have to normal summon this, you go get your Furnace, go get your Poly, do what you need to do. And depending on what your other 4 cards are, you can go into your plays. So essentially, if you get into a game state where you need another Destiny, Fusion Destiny target, no spoiler alert, Fusion Destiny's in here. This can be used as a Fusion Destiny target because you can use a Destiny hero that you haven't used. Like if you don't see your Plasma or can't get to him, send Plasma, send this, you make a DPE. So I do think that helps. Not to mention, this card searches your Poly, and you need every way to get to Poly as possible, or Mass Change. So this will search what you need to do as far as your fusions, and then if you have like Malicious in hand, if you have 2 Malicious in hand, or Denier in hand, whatever, any kind of brick that you have that you can't use going first, just ditch it off of Furnace, or just send Furnace. That is it for the monsters. For the spells, we're going to start off with the power spells. We're going to have 3 Hero Lives, 3 Fusion Destiny, and 3 Evil Assault. So I decided to go with 3 Evil Assault instead of 2 because this is just too good of a card as far as getting cards out of your hand, getting rid of dead cards. That is the main thing heroes are struggling with, is dead cards. You know, Fusion Destiny, like, I hate this card. I really do. I think it's really bad for heroes. But, you know, to kind of contradict that, and to kind of play devil's advocate here, if they kind of get rid of all your opening plays, they know to stop Increase. They know to stop Vion. If you go into Fusion Destiny, obviously it gets you into DPE, Plasma, and Darklaw for the most part. So you definitely need that, and then obviously this can get you in, like, this is a starter, you know, for us. I mean, yeah, it locks you into heroes, but Big Wolf, I mean, I give Fusion Destiny a hard time because it locks you into dark heroes. So I definitely think running everything at 3, it's a 60 card deck, so you're going to need to see everything. And then obviously this is 3 more Stratos, and then if you already have Stratos, you can go into another one, get some more cards for your searchers, or you can just go into Shadow Mist, go straight into Darklaw, and kind of cut off some of them cards that need to go to the graveyard. And on to the rest of the spell, we have our fusion cards. We have 1 Poly, 1 Dark Contact. This is another searcher off of Dusty Gold. I decided to do 2 Miracle Fusion. So in my rounds that I've been testing is that the simplified game state, after all of my resources are exhausted, I find that I need another one of these because I'm using my Wonder Driver to go get my Poly back, and I don't have a way to get this back. And I think 2 Miracle Fusion is the way to go because they're almost every game, all the games I won, I needed the 2nd Miracle Fusion. I got it and I won. So I do think running this at 2 is something we could definitely test out. You know, that's just in my experience. So I definitely think trying this at 2 could go on. We have 2 Mass Change. So I think Darklaw is the way to go, and especially in this coming up format, the graveyard controlling it is going to be the way to go. I think getting your opponent's cards out of their graveyard is going to really hurt a lot of players because you see cards like Dimensional Fissure coming back, where it's just banishing all the monsters. So if you have Darklaw, you can banish all their cards, and if they search, you can rip a card. So essentially, cards like all the Draco Tail cards, the branded cards, and then Radiant Typhoon. Radiant Typhoon needs to have Mystical Space Typhoon in the graveyard to do a lot of the things they need to do. So if you get rid of their Mystical Space Typhoon, you're shutting off almost all their plays. So that's something to think about going forward with Mass Change. And to round off the deck, as far as the main engine, we have Rhoda, we have Foolish Burial, and Favorite Contact. Onto the hand traps, we have 3 Fualos. I didn't love this card the last 2 weeks. I think Perulia would have done a little better in the main deck. I think with K9 still running around, I think with Radiant Typhoon and a lot of these decks that have just special summoned from the hand, I think this is probably going to be the way to go, or Perulia would be the way to go. But Fualos wasn't bad. I mean, like I said, I didn't use it too often, and that's probably just my luck and the matchups that I had. So, you know, you take what I say with a grain of salt. But I think going forward, I think I'm going to test Perulia in the main deck to see how it works for me. And if it doesn't work, we'll just go back to it. We have 3 Ash. Obviously, this is for the Draco Tail branded matchup and the Charmies. So you want to Ash their branded fusion, or you want to Ash the Draco Tail trap cards. So that helps there. And a little tech card that I've been trying out is 2 DD Crow. I mentioned earlier with Dark Law that we want to get cards out of our opponent's graveyard, and this is mainly to target cards that they need to get in their graveyard, and they're trying to like recycle them back, or they need it in their graveyard to do their stuff. Like I can banish Mystical Space Typhoon, I can banish the Fallen Malbaz, I can do whatever I need to do to get stuff out of their graveyard. And then to round it off, we have 3 Droplet and then 3 Eclipse. So Eclipse I didn't see this all the whole 2 weeks. I wish I would have, but I did see my Droplets. I saw pretty much everything else but Book of Eclipse. I think Book of Eclipse is the only card I didn't see. So I'm not gonna say I'm gonna take it out or anything, because like I said, it's 60 cards, so you're not gonna always see everything. The main thing of this deck is to get into your engine. But with me saying that, when I say we have cards that can really just get stuff out of our hands, is like we have 3 of this. We can use this. You have that. On top of that, you have this, and you have this. So you have all of these cards to just get stuff out of your hand. I say a Dusted Gold because this gets you into this, and then this can obviously get rid of anything else you got in your hand. So all these cards to get bricks out of your hand. So the chances of you drawing at least one of these is coming. You know, I mean, we run almost 30 monsters in our hand, in our deck as far as heroes. So you're gonna have something to ditch off of Ferris. If I got a discard increase to Special Summon Ferris, I have another increase. That's another reason we have the 2 in there. So this just creates a whole lot of consistency. And even during one of my I played a rescue, one of my good buddies, Nick. He was playing Rescue Ace, another rogue deck, and he couldn't believe how consistent this deck was at 60 cards. So the deck definitely did its thing, and it really impressed a lot of people. So on with the extra deck, we have. Then I'm definitely going to change this because I still can't find one of my cards, but I'll get into it. So we have 3 Dark Law. We can obviously get to this, but I wouldn't run 3. I would run 2. I cannot find one of my Wonder Drivers. I do not know why I cannot find it, so I went ahead and ordered another one. So one of these will be a Wonder Driver. So, but going forward, I'm going to run 3 because that's what I have. We have 2 Chaos. I don't think you need to run 3. You can, you can arguably say this should be a 3rd Chaos maybe, but I think 2 is fine. I think that's all you're ever going to get to. We have 1 Wake Up. We have 1 Infernal Rage, 1 Sunrise, 1 Shining Neos. We run the 1 Evil Hero Fusion target, which is Bane. I think Bane is excellent. You summon it out and you just wipe your opponent's board. A lot of times I don't even know this is coming and they can't stop it, and it's great. So I changed it up and I run 2 DPE, and to round it out we have Cross Crusader, we have Wonder Driver, and we have Devicer. I would run 2 of this because you do want to get to your poly, but I don't think you should run multiple copies, and I think that's where the controversy is. Do I run 2 Miracle Fusion or 2 poly? Because I think 2 Mass Change is a must, because Mass Change can also be used as a hand trap. So if you normal summon your Vion, if that's your only play, and you use the effect to dump and they do Imperm, Veil, or whatever, chain Mass Change, go into Dark Law, and then your plays just go. So this can obviously be changed a little bit, but I think this worked out excellent for me. And I do have a side deck for you guys. So I have 3 Perulia. This will be going into the main. Fualos will come over. Now, what I also thought about doing was cutting the Book of Eclipse to 2 and then running 2 Perulia, 2 Fualos. So, maybe doing a little mix match of that. I think that could work, but we'll see what testing looks like. We have the 3 Lancia because Malice is obviously still a deck, and I definitely don't think I'm gonna see a mirror match, but if you do happen to play another hero player, if you just stop them from banishing, Malicious is just dead. And then honestly, I do this for Lunalight as well, because if the only thing they have to fusion off is with Wolf, they can't use Wolf to send off. If you're going against Lunalight and they decide to use Hound Engrave as far as negating one of your spells, because all you may have is a hero lives, and then go into your plays that way, and they try to hound it. You can just do Lancey, and they can't do anything. And then we have the 2 Droll, and then the 3rd DD Crow, like I said, for the Graveyard Hate. And then obviously we're using a lot of the new ban lists, so I'm using just 2 Droll, just practicing using that, because it is a local, so you're going to see rogue decks, so you do want to have this in your bag in case. But what I've noticed is for these meta decks, this deck it really isn't doing anything. Like if I play Draco Tail, like all they need is the 1 search. And I know with the new Magista stuff and the new Brandon stuff, this may come up, and we'll see how testing goes as far as that. But I think using just Droll and Lockbird in the side, I think for me personally it works. And then to round it out, we got 3 Thrust, because this obviously searches all of your power spells. You could argue this could be in the main deck, because this searches your Fusion Destiny, it searches your Hero Lives, it searches your Evil Assault, whatever. But going first, that kind of hurts you because you can't activate it. And then we got the Targus, we got Regeki, Dark Ruler, and Harpy's Feather Duster. Guys, that is all I have for y'all today. I really hope you enjoyed this deck profile. If you disagree with a lot of the things I have in here, definitely let me know, because I do know Heroes is a controversial deck to play, and I just play it the way I strongly feel it should be played. And I think the more resources we have, now I did step out of my comfort zone because I don't normally play a 60 card deck. That was completely different for me. I try to stick to 40 as best as possible because I think that's the most consistent. But for Heroes, we play a lot of bricks, and I don't feel that 40 cards is going to be optimal anymore, even 45. I don't even think 50 is even optimal. I think 60, like I used these last 2 weeks to really make sure that like this is how this deck runs. And just to make sure it's not just a fluke, that it's that consistent. And let me tell you, I didn't brick on any hands. I didn't brick in any game. Every game was back and forth. Every game I was able to just get through boards. Now, obviously, in one of my other matches from last week, it was against Cool Tune, and that just ruined me there. I still went to game 3, but I just didn't know enough of the deck as far as on how to out-resource it. So I will be more prepared for that going forward, but the deck performed absolutely well. It just lost in the simplified game state. There weren't many games that I couldn't win, but once you exhaust all your resources, especially in this deck, you just couldn't follow up. You know, you were praying to hit like a Hero Lives or praying to hit a Stratos, but the bad thing was the players that I was playing against, they had the negate for it. Like they held that hand trap just for those cards. So it was hard to kind of make up ground when you got into the simplified game state, but that's just Yu-Gi-Oh! That's how it works. But that's just my experience. Let me know what you guys think. If you enjoy content like this, definitely let me know in the comment section down below. I can't wait to hear from you guys. I'm responding to everybody. Until then, Heroes Best Deck.